Today's story comes from user AITA 2021 July with a baby shower story. AITA for calling my SIL out on leaving my house with my baby shower gifts and causing her to be shunned by my in-laws? Not the a-hole. Me F29 and my husband M32 are expecting our first baby together. In case it's relevant, my husband comes from a well-off family while I come from a poor family. I'm not ashamed to say it and have a great family I wouldn't replace for all the money in the world. My in-laws are great too. They treat me good save for my BIL Austin, who likes to point out how beneath his levels I am, although his wife comes from poor family too and they are also expecting. My sister planned a baby shower for me. It wasn't fancy, but was affordable and great. My SIL showed up empty-handed and criticized my baby shower party up and down and talked about how glamorous hers will be. She asked my sister how much the party cost her and joked that the dress she wore costs probably more. She was acting rude and arrogant to my family and friends, but none of my in-laws said anything. My sister put the gifts in the other room, then we continued celebrating. After the party, my sister notified me that there were a number of gifts missing, including the one she brought. We looked around and couldn't find them. I checked the camera footage and saw my SIL walking out with several gifts that were given by my own family and friends. I was fuming. I called to confront her and asked her to bring the gifts back, but she denied and was hurt that I accused her of stealing from me and said she'd tell the family about me lying when I insisted. I told her I have a video and have no problem involving the family too to see who's at fault. She hung up and I waited, then shared the footage with all of my in-laws. It blew up and many of them shamed her for what she did and told her to give the stuff back. She still didn't respond, but Austin was livid and called to ask about the nonsense I fabricated about his wife. And called me gross with a wild imagination to even think that his wife would steal cheap gifts from my low-class family. Much less have the gall to go lie to his entire family about it and cause his wife to be publicly shamed and shunned. Mill was so upset too. She said I messed up and should have resolved this privately instead of going nuclear and ruining SIL's relationships over few gifts, and offered to pay for them if I take the post down. My husband was out of the country. She said she'd call him personally to tell him to handle me when I refused, and she said, just wait till he gets back. But he reacted differently. He even got into an argument with Austin and told him his wife was the cheap one for stealing his baby's stuff. I got my stuff back but haven't heard anything from my SIL. Mother-in-laws said SIL's doesn't steal, she's better than that, and I shouldn't call it stealing, so she must have had another reason. She is on Austin and his wife's side after he argued with my husband. I feel like I just drove a wedge in my husband's family for this. The top comment was from user Motel Tulsa, who said, the nuclear option is calling the police and pressing charges. SIL got off easy. NTA. I'd be pulling that video up every holiday. Notice how the mill dropped her own variation of narcissist's prayer in defense of SIL. Whereas user Scrap Queen says NTA. Not at all. She stole your baby gifts. There is no excuse for that, and your mill enabling that behavior is disgusting. You gave her a private opportunity to right the wrong and she didn't take it. She screwed up more than once here. Kudos to your husband. And finally, user Bayabab77 said the following. NTA. Your mill should be ashamed of supporting your SIL. If she didn't want it to be made public, your SIL should have returned the gifts as easily as she stole them. Keep far from them. I'd consider it a blessing to be rid of them before giving birth. You don't need any of these people around your child. Thanks for watching. Please take a moment to consider liking and subscribing for more daily Reddit content.